Hey there. Step outside for a second and listen to the sounds of nature. You can hear the birds chirping, and if you're lucky, you can hear a hummingbird's fast wings fluttering in the air. See the beautiful sights, green, lush grass and tall trees like this one. Some ants may pass by, and you might accidentally step on a large puddle. But nature's the beautifulest thing I've ever seen in my whole entire life. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa! Look at me. These are cells. These are all my 10 trillion cells. Whoa. Wow. You know what? Cells are the basic building blocks of life. They grow, reproduce, and breathe, and eat, and get rid of wastes. And just like other organisms, they die. But do you know one of the most amazing facts about you? You, many years ago, were once just a single cell, a single egg cell right in your mom's body. And when that was fertilized with another cell called a sperm cell, that cell divided and divided and divided, and those cells created a baby. And those cells had different sets of instructions. Over time, some of the cells changed their instructions. Some of them became your eyes, your nose, your ears, your fingers. And at about 9 months away, after that, you were born as a human baby. And your cells keep growing as your body does. And they keep dividing and dividing, and your cells will keep dividing your whole entire life. So, cells make up every living thing on this planet, in the universe too. There are any aliens. So, some organisms have only one cell. One cell. It's like bacteria. But others, like plants, animals, humans are animals. But some organisms like those are multicellular. They have more cells. They have at least one cell. They have like trillions, millions, billions of cells. Us, the human body, has more than 10 trillion cells. 10 trillion cells. That's a lot of cells. So, different cells have different functions. Your nerve cells send messages to your brain of what's going on around you. Everything you see, everything you hear, everything you smell, everything you taste, and everything you touch. So, your muscle cells are constantly telling your muscles when you exercise or when you look at me running. You know, I just gave a task to your muscle cells. Even though it was hard working, I gave a task to your muscle cells. Your muscle cells controlled your eyes to look at me running this way and that way. And they go to the nerve cells, and then the nerve cells send the messages to your brain. So all these types of cells work together and process information to form you and me. So they might look different in size, shape, and color, but that's only because the looks are related to their needs or the job and task that they do. So an animal or plant cell is related or like a small mini chemical factory. Huh? What? So there's the control station which controls the cell. There's also the power plant, which generates the energy needed for the functions. And there's also the machinery that makes the needs for the cell. The cell membrane acts like a security system for the cell. It lets out bad substances like waste products and lets in good substances like nutrients. Inside the cell, there's also a jelly-like substance called cytoplasm. It's mostly made of water, but it's also made of several chemicals for the cell. And it also contains materials for the cell to repair, to eat, to grow, and to live. So, just like in your body, you have organs which do several tasks, like your stomach digests the food and mixes it up into chyme. Your kidneys filter the blood and send out the waste products. Your lungs, they help you breathe in oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. Same thing here, except these little organs are called organelles, which means little organ. Inside the cell, there are many different organelles, including the vacuole. Inside plant cells, there's only one big vacuole called the central vacuole. But in animal cells, there are many different vacuoles, small vacuoles, inside the cell. So vacuoles, what they do is store food. It's like a storage. They store food, waste, and nutrients. So there's also one more difference between plant and animal cells. Plant cells, this is what gives them their kind of square shape. They have an extra security special thing called a cell wall, which is layered outside of the cell membrane. Animal cells don't have that. So that's another major difference between plant and animal cells. So there's also another organelle called mitochondria. Repeat after me. Mitochondria. So the mitochondria, they're like the powerhouse. Like how I said, the power plants inside of a chemical factory. The mitochondria are those. Think of it as like your stomach. When you eat food, it goes inside your body and it gets digested. Those energy that your intestines absorb goes into the cell and it gets burned by the mitochondria into energy that the cell can use for its functions. It can make you control your brain, flex your muscle, and listen to this video. So there's also many other organelles like the lysosomes and other stuff. But there's also one major difference between plants and animal cells. You see this plant? Have you ever wondered why it's so green? That's because of its cells. There's an organelle called a Chloroplast. There, it gets all the sunlight, water, and minerals from the ground, and carbon dioxide from the soil to create photosynthesis. And if you want to know more about photosynthesis, go into my plant video. But the reason why plants are so green is that in the chloroplast, there's a pigment called chlorophyll that makes the plant green, yellow, red at several times of the year. So those are organelles. So there's also the nucleus, which is the control center of the cell. Think of it as your brain controls your whole body. Your nucleus controls the cell. So this nucleus, when you look inside it, you see thread-like structures. Those are chromosomes. Chromosomes are these thread-like structures that contain protein and one molecule of deoxyribonucleic acid, or DNA. Repeat after me. Deoxyribonucleic acid. So, it is inherited from your parents to offspring. And it makes the living thing unique. But it is also passed down for special features and traits from your parents and grandparents and great-great-great-grandparents. So every living thing has at least one cell. But for the multicellular organisms, they have more than one cell. But those cells all started out as one cell. So the single-celled organisms live all through their life with just one cell. But the multicellular organisms have more than one cell. But at the beginning of their life, it was just one big fat cell. Do you know how it got to many billions of cells? With cell division. So there are two types of cell division processes. Nuclear division and cytokinesis. So the nuclear division, when that happens, there are two types of nuclear division: mitosis and meiosis. So first we're going to be talking about mitosis and then meiosis. And we're also going to be talking about cytokinesis too. I know, it's a lot of terms that I'm just vomiting at you, but don't worry. You'll get them soon. So mitosis is one type of nuclear division that first, the mitosis, the chromosomes inside the nucleus make copies of themselves. And then the nucleus splits into two. So that's mitosis. And then it uses the process called cytokinesis to make the cell divide into two. So now let's talk about cytokinesis. Cytokinesis is when the cytoplasm splits into two. After the nucleus splits into two and it sticks together, and after that they push apart to form two new daughter cells. But sometimes cytokinesis can go wrong, and that's where wrong cell growth may occur. For example, it may create two different sized cells. It may have two cells. One may have the normal amount of organelles in its cell, but the other may have less organelles or more than the amount needed organelles in its cell. And some, if there's no cytokinesis, one cell may have two nuclei. So there may be some problems, but now let's talk about meiosis. So meiosis is different from mitosis. In mitosis, the chromosomes copy each other. But in meiosis, the chromosomes divide into two. So the outcoming new cell only has half the chromosomes as the rest of the normal cell's chromosomes. Why? Because they only gain the other half of the cells with fertilization, which is one sperm cell, which comes from the male, and one egg cell uniting, which is fertilization, and the new cell that's created from the sperm and egg takes half the chromosomes from father, half the chromosomes from mother, so that it will become a normal cell. So that is meiosis. So now we're going to talk about how things go wrong with the cell. Like, what I mean is diseases. So sometimes things can go wrong, even for a cell. they cannot divide in an orderly fashion and multiply wild without stopping, or a tiny virus, coronavirus happening now these days, or a tiny virus like that can invade a cell, destroying the cell and using it for its own purposes, like to reproduce and grow. So, cancer, it is a disease marked by outnumbered growth of non-stopping multiplying wild cells, called a tumor. So, cancer cells look like young cells that have not yet developed. When they start multiplying in not an orderly fashion, it forms a tumor. When the nucleus starts dividing and without an orderly fashion, it forms a tumor. And then sometimes the tumor breaks off and forms other tumors with other cells and disrupts the tissue. Or a tiny virus can go inside the body and invade a cell. By themselves, viruses are lifeless. But when they use the cell, when they invade the cell, they reproduce and grow and form other viruses and that invade other cells. If this is not stopped, then the virus can take over the whole body. So that's all about diseases. So now we're gonna talk about how cells connect with other parts of your body. So first, there's these lump of cells together. A group of cells together form a tissue. For example, epithelial tissue covers your skin. Bone and cartilages are tissues. Muscles are also tissue. They help you move and stay strong and make you supported. A group of tissue form an organs. For example, smooth tissues form your stomach and digestive tract. And cardiac tissue forms your heart, which pumps your blood and keeps you living. A group of organs form an organ system. Your digestive system breaks down the food and gives the nutrients to the cells so that the mitochondria, remember, can break it down. But without your urinary system, you wouldn't be able to get rid of wastes and filter your blood so that you would be clean. And without your respiratory system, you wouldn't be able to breathe. And without your cardiologic system, which is your heart, cardiovascular system, you wouldn't be able to live. Oh my God. And without your skeletal system, you wouldn't be able to support and protect your organs and your body. Without your skeletal system, if you want to know more about your skeletal system and other systems like these, go to my system videos and find out. If without your skeleton, you would be just a lump of mush on the ground. Without your muscular system, you wouldn't be able to run around like this. And do other fun games. And without your nervous system, you wouldn't be able to think and absorb all the information in school. So that's all about cells to organ systems. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to Jagan's channel, and I hope you have a happy learning time learning about cells and their functions. Bye-bye. Now back to my